Hey guys, it is Sunday and I am getting ready for our Meatless Monday tomorrow. I want to be sure and tell you about the other channels that are doing this Meatless Monday challenge with me. After you've watched my video, go check them out. It's Whippoorwill Hollar, Vickie's Country Home, the Little Homestead, and Little Jordan Farm. Go check them out. I'll have their channels linked below in my description. Also, I've created a playlist with all of our videos in it, so you go and check them out. And stay tuned at the end of my video. There's going to be a little message from Pastor Bryant. Y'all have a great day and enjoy. Hey guys, and happy Monday. It is about 7:30 in the morning. It's rainy here where we're at. And so I thought I would put on some good old Southern comfort food. So let's get started. We're doing pintos today. Now let me tell you, this meatless thing and doing pintos is about to kill this old Southern girl. Because you all know that we like to put side meat, ham hocks, something like that in our pintos, but I'm trying to keep this as meatless as I possibly can, but still flavorful. So let me show you what I've done so far. I've measured out about 3.5 cups of pintos here, and I've looked them good to make sure there's no rocks, and I've tried to get out any bad pintos. This one looks like it's not a good pinto, and there's a few others. I leave the ones that, oh, there's another bad one. I leave the broken ones. I think that adds a thickness to the broth. So I don't necessarily get out the broken ones, but if you do, then that is completely fine. Now I've probably got an oversized pot here, but that's okay. It's the one I wanted to use. It's one of my new pots and I wanted to use it. So we're going in with the 3.5 cups of pintos. Now, keep in mind, if it's just you and your husband, you're not going to want to fix this many pintos. And I always fix enough to have leftovers. Now, another reason to look through your beans is to be sure, sometimes they have these little dark pebbles or rocks. You want to be sure to get those out. But like, here's a broken one that's broken in half. I leave those. I just think it adds a richness or thickness to the broth. Okay, now, some of you guys may be rinsers. Some of you may be no rinsers. I happen to be a no rinser, but you do whatever you feel like you need to do. If you were a rinser, you would just pour some water, put them in a colander, spray them with water, and rinse them, drain that water off, rinse them off, put them in a pot. I'm not a rinser, so, but you do what you feel is necessary. No judgment on my part. I'm going to cover them up about 2 inches above the beans. And I take my hands. We need some more water. I'm going in with all of it. And if you have any floating, slosh them around a little bit. Look at there. I don't have a single one floating. Usually you'll have one floating. If it floats, you want to get that one out of there. But I don't have one floating. I don't like the looks of that one though. I'm gonna get it out. So yeah, I don't have any floating. So good. All right, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get these over here on the stove. I'm gonna turn them on. I'm gonna bring them to a boil. I'm not gonna season them at this point. At our next step, we'll season. But at this point, we're not going to do any seasoning. I'm just going to bring them to a boil and let them boil for 10 to 15 minutes and then cut them off. I have to go put my makeup on. It's early, y'all. It's a miracle I'm dressed. So I'm dressed, but no makeup. So I'm going to go get dressed while these boil for about, not dressed, makeup on, for about 15 minutes. And then I'm just going to cut it off, put the lid on it, cut it off, and just let it sit. Today, Bryant and I are headed to the church. A couple of ladies, and we're going to space out and social distance, you know. We're going to have our own table. We're going to set up. We're going to have a sewing machine. There's going to be less than 10 of us, hopefully. And we are going to sew face masks for our local hospital. So maybe, just maybe, I might do a video with that too. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough memory to do that. But, yeah, I'm going to bring these to a boil, let them boil for about 15 minutes, cut them off, put the lid on it, let them sit. Then when we come back from making face masks, we'll get them going and cooking. This is not really the cooking stage. Now, y'all, if y'all are, if you want to boil them and pour the water off, that's fine. I have just, I don't even like saying it, but sometimes beans have the reputation of making you gassy. And if they make you gassy at the end of the boiling period and the sitting, you'll want to rinse that water off. I just keep that water because I think it's got good broth in it. But if you worry about the gassiness and, I hate saying that. But anyway, you'll want to pour that water off. But right now, we're just going to bring it to a boil, and I'll be back. I'm going to let it boil for 15 minutes, put the lid on it, and then we'll come back when it's time to season it and really get started cooking it. Hey guys, okay, I am back from our church thing where we were making the mask. Before I show you the pintos, let me show you something really sweet. When we have things like this, and we're doing for others and the ladies are sewing or whatever, Bryant always goes with us. He's the pastor, so he wants to be there encouraging everybody and telling them how much he appreciates them. But I want to show you something. He even tried his hand at it today. Watch this. Everybody else is on there like 20 at a time. I'm working on Riley, Big Guffy's on something. Okay, so we're over here at the pintos. Let me take the lid off. Let me grab a spoon. And those pintos soaked up the majority of the water. Let me turn you guys down here. You can see that the pintos soaked up the majority of the water. I had them boiling for about 15 minutes. I then turned the heat off, put the lid on, and I ran and did my errands. So now is the time for seasoning. Now this is the point where this Meatless Monday is going to kill me. Because I always season my pintos with side meat, or I season them with fatback or ham hocks or that type of things, ham pieces. So let's go through my cabinet and see what we can find. Okay, so this is the point where if you wanted to drain that water off, you can. I'm not going to. So let's see what we're going to start out with. I'm going to start out with a drizzle or two of olive oil. Just a little bit. I'm going to start with a half a tablespoon of salt and maybe just a pinch more. Not much more. That's a half a tablespoon of salt. Now, not for heat purposes. Not for heat purposes, just for a little depth of flavor, I'm going to put just a thin sprinkle of red pepper flakes. Nothing to give it, I don't want it to be hot or spicy. I just want a little bit in there. Just a tad. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it back up with some water. Going to cover them. That's about an inch. Now, if you are scared of the red pepper flakes, don't put them in there. In fact, my husband is probably going to have a conniption that I put them in there. Let me get just a little bit more water. Okay, guys, and see, by not pouring that water off, I've already got a good start to that good pinto bean broth. So that's one reason I don't pour it off. But if you're gassy, you might want to. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this back over here on the stove. I'm going to bring it back to a boil. Once it begins to boil, I'm going to turn it down where it keeps a soft, gentle boil. I don't want it to be rolling. It's okay to get it rolling to begin with, but when you turn it down, you want to keep a soft, gentle boil. So my burners, I don't know how your stove works, but mine are, it's high, 8, 6, 4, 2, low. I'm probably going to put mine somewhere between 6 and 4. So a medium low, just to keep a good gentle boil, and I'm just going to let them cook all day. I've been at the church most of the day, so it may be a late supper. No, I'm just kidding. It won't take that long, but we're going to have us some good pintos for supper. Along with the pintos, I'm going to fix cabbage and cornbread. It doesn't get any more country or southern than that. And that is one of my family's favorite meals. Do you eat chow chow with your pintos, or do you eat chopped up onions? I like both. And some people put ketchup. Now, I don't put ketchup. I put ketchup on my white beans, but not my pinto beans. I love chow chow, and my favorite brand is Hyatt's. And I think that's only local here in North Carolina. I'm not sure. North Carolina and Virginia. Hyatt's, Hyatts, I think. That is our favorite brand. I did buy another brand the other day, but then as I was going through my cabinet, I saw I still had a jar of Hyatt's up there. So we're going to bring this to a boil, and then turn it down to a low, slow, gentle boil. Let it cook. I'm going to check it occasionally. Check and make sure the water doesn't cook out. You don't want to cook your water out. Because, have y'all ever smelled scorched pintos? It's bad. Scorched pintos stink. Let me tell you this story. We had a restaurant, or we went in with our youth pastor when we lived in Tobaccoville, North Carolina, and went in with on a restaurant with him. And I was at home cooking pintos for supper, and Bryant called and said, let's run up here to the grill, which was the restaurant, and eat. Well, we got there, and our customers were there. I think something needed to be done. We were working, and I lived in a parsonage. I forgot the pintos, and Bryant's phone rings, and it's one of our church members who was dropping off something, and I always left my door unlocked, and she smelt it when she got up on the porch. She smelt the pintos. She went in, of course my door was unlocked. She went in, she grabbed the pot and threw the pot and everything out on the backyard. So that's my story of pintos. Yep. No, I've cooked many a pot of pintos, and I think I've maybe scorched 3. That was the worst. If by chance good little tidbit of knowledge. If by chance you scorch your pintos, do not scrape the bottom. You start from the top and you start getting the good stuff off and putting it in another pot. Do not scrape the bottom, because you can still salvage, especially if it's for your family, you can still salvage the stuff on the top. You just don't want to mix that old burnt taste up with the good stuff. And that's only if you start mildly scorching it. Now if you scorch it bad, it's probably too far gone. But a little tidbit of knowledge, and ask me how I know. Yes, I have scorched some pintos. It's easy to do. It's easy to cook pintos and forget to check the water. So don't forget to check your water. So we'll be back when it gets to boiling and when I turn it down. I'll show you what kind of gentle boil looks like. We're just getting it hot right now, and I'll show you in just a second. It's getting pretty close to that gentle boil I was telling you about. Hasn't quite reached it yet, but I thought of something else I'm going to put in here just to give it a little depth of flavor. I have these soft bouillon cubes, and I'm only going to put half. They're soft. You can break them in half easy, and it's really not even half. It's probably a third. But I'm just going to put that in. It'll dissolve on its own, and that's just kind of going to give it. It's kind of going to give it that meat flavor without adding meat. Now I hope that's not cheating, y'all, because it is Meatless Monday, but I think that'll just give it a oomph of flavor. So just as it is almost at that gentle boil, it's kind of getting foamy on top, and that's good. That means you're almost there. And if I put the lid on, it would boil quicker, but I don't want it to boil over while I still have it on high. Getting it there. I don't want to make a mess before y'all see it for real. But looks like I'm going to have to bring you back in just a second. Okay guys, here is a soft, gentle boil. I'm not going to let it get too much higher than that. I'm going to go ahead and turn it down to, I would say, between medium and medium low. And just put the lid on. And let all those flavors, we're not going to miss that side meat one bit, let me tell you. So we are good to go. There you go. So now it just cooks for several hours. Unfortunately, pintos is not something you rush. Now, it is very convenient to make this in the crock pot. You can put that on early in the morning, fill it up with water, and maybe just check it once for water, but it should be good. We do like the stovetop a little bit better, only because my family likes the thick broth, and it seems to get just a tad bit thicker on. Sorry about that. For me, it just seems to get a little bit thicker on the stovetop. Some people say they can't tell a difference, and actually there's been a few times I couldn't tell a difference. And I never know what the broth is going to look like till we're done cooking anyway. So I'm going to bring you back and let you know when it's ready. Hey guys, I've gone and gotten comfortable. I took the clip out of my hair, changed clothes, washed up, and I'm ready. My pintos are ready. I don't have anything else ready yet. What we're going to have with this meal is cabbage and cornbread. And that may be next week's Meatless Monday that I do. So yeah, let me let you get a good look at this before I dip us up some. Look at that brown broth. Look how thick and wonderful that is. Oh my goodness. All right. Now, it's not quite supper time here yet, so I'm just going to scoop up a little bit just to give you guys so you can see. Y'all look. Can y'all see at that beautiful thick broth? I'm going to put it in a glass bowl just so you can look. There's some of that broth. All right. I'm going to set it back over here on the burner. Now, here is the chow chow I was telling you about. I don't know if you can get it where you are, but if you can't, get some brand of chow chow. First, I'm going to taste it without the chow chow. I'm going to have to get another spoon. Actually, let me just go ahead and scoop the chow chow in there so I don't have to get another spoon. I'll put the chow chow over to the edge. Alright, I'm trying to get where y'all can see everything. See me and the food. Okay, I've put the chow chow over here to the edge, but I want to try the pintos first. They're hot. Oh, cornbread. I just can't hardly stand it. Can't hardly wait. Y'all, I do not miss the meat in there at all. They are so flavorful. Now let's get a bite with the chow chow. But y'all, look at that thick broth. So good. You absolutely do not miss meat in the seasoning or as your entree. This is my entree. This is my protein right here. I wish Bryant was here to taste it. He's out spraying pastures. He'll get some when I get the cabbage and cornbread ready. We may do cabbage and cornbread next Monday. But y'all, for Meatless Monday, get you some beans. Get you some beans, pinto beans. They're easy. You don't have to stand over them. Yes, they do take a little while to cook on the stovetop. But you don't have to stand over them. Just check them every now and then to make sure the water hadn't cooked out. You saw how easy I did mine. I didn't rinse them. I didn't change any water. I put them in the pot. Made sure there wasn't any pebbles or bad pintos. Covered them with water. Boiled them for 15 minutes. Put the lid on. Left and ran my errands that I had to do today. The face mask sewing at church. And then came home and just added more water. Added my seasoning. And then have just cooked them on a low, soft, gentle boil all day. Or I don't even know how many hours it's been. But, and they're delicious. They're delicious. I mean, yeah, this is not something you're going to want to, unless you do it in the crock pot, it's not something you're going to want to put on and leave because you just need to make sure there's water. Ah! Praise the Lord. Thank you, Lord, for beans. And if people are worried about it, please remove the gas, Lord. Please. Amen. Don't you think he laughs at the things we worry about sometimes? Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I will see you next Monday on Meatless Monday. I cannot wait. I believe I will do the cabbage and cornbread next Monday. I gotta go. I'm not gonna film it tonight. But Bryant likes the cabbage so much. Yeah, he'll say I can do that once a week, and he's tickled pink. Okay, guys. Now that the pintos are ready, I've started on the cabbage. I'm not gonna do a full-blown video on the cabbage or the cornbread because the star of today's Meatless Monday was the pintos. But I will kind of give you a brief synopsis of my cabbage. I have cut it up, put a little bit of oil and a little bit of butter in my frying pan. I used to stew my cabbage all the time. I no longer do this. This gives it so much more flavor. A little bit of butter, a little bit of oil. I sliced up my cabbage and put in here. I've sliced up a little bit of onion, chopped up a little bit of onion and a little bit of green pepper. And I'm sauteing it off. If it's not getting good and soft for you, one way you can make it get a little bit softer is add just a couple of tablespoons, about a fourth of a cup at the max of some chicken broth. That will just send it over the top. And I use buttermilk in my cornbread, and I think I have a cornbread recipe on there. If not, I'll do one soon. But y'all, I hope you enjoyed watching me make pintos. And you didn't watch me make the cabbage, but you heard about it, and cornbread. This is a true Southern meatless meal. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching The Farm and Pastor's Wife. And remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all. Okay, we're ready to eat this Meatless Monday meal. You go, Daddy.
All right, bud. I don't know if you guys can see it. She took some dried pintos and made Southern style pinto beans, right, Mom? Mm-hmm. All right.
No meat.
No meat.
Not even in seasoning.
Now, you don't have to have any toppings or anything on your pintos. Some people just do salt and pepper. Some people do ketchup. But I like to do chow chow. Don't know if you've ever had chow chow where you're at, where you live at. What chow chow is basically it's a pickled cabbage with water and sugar and vinegar and red pepper and onions and some salt and spices. It's kind of a really sweet little deal. I just put chow chow right here on top of my pintos, okay? You can see it right there. We use Miss Hyatt's, okay? That's the kind of chow chow that we use. But anyway, the broth on these pintos are super, super good. And
so thick and rich.
Yep. And so really, really enjoyable.
You do not miss the meat.
Homemade cornbread. Did you do that cornbread on your video?
I told them about it. I didn't do it. And I told them about the cabbage. But they didn't see it. But I told them how I did it. And we'll have a video coming up soon.
So, pintos are super, super good. Just a super good little Meatless Monday here. Just a small little Southern twist. Very simple. Pintos, cooked cabbage, and cornbread. Hard to go wrong there. So anyway, delicious. We hope you guys have had a great week. You know, it's kind of unique. The world is divided right now because of this coronavirus thing. Some people are saying reopen the economy. Some people saying don't open the economy. Some people are saying it's plateaued and it's on the decline. Some people say it's still on the rise. I share this wherever you are on those issues. Be kind to each other. I've seen on social media a lot of people at each other's throats and just bickering back and forth what to do. It's amazing how many people all of a sudden have become
doctors.
Infectious disease doctors. They've become
financial experts,
pulmonologists, phlebotomists. Lab experts. It's crazy. All of a sudden, all the armchair quarterbacks that we have, all of a sudden, all these mail order experts in the medical field and all over social media. And how it's so easy for people to interject their opinion as facts or to state it as facts when this is a situation that a lot of people don't have facts for. Dr. Fauci, ain't that his name? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure he knows what he's talking about. I know they're doing a wonderful job. I think our president has been proactive and done a great job being dealt the situation he's been dealt. And so anyway.
We're not walking in their shoes, in other words.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's like to be in their shoes and the things they face.
But here's the thing. This is what I do know. That God is sovereign. And nothing happens in this world that doesn't pass through his authority. I'm not saying that God has caused any of this to happen. But through his authority, he's allowed it to happen. For some reason. Is it to set us up for end time prophecy and the apocalypse that's to come? I don't know. But this is what I do know. That Les and I, since our sickness, we take every day as a blessing, right, Mom? And what we do is we try to live every day. Let me get her in the camera there, okay? We try to live every day to the fullest. And that's what I want to encourage you here as we wind on this video, is to live every day to its fullest potential.
My oven's beeping. I don't know why.
Kind of like her fire alarm was beeping. Don't tell her, okay? I mean,
I set a timer and I forgot about it.
But
was that my Pinto you just said?
No, that's mine. But anyway, what we wanted to share with you was just be considerate of each other. After all this is over with, 6 months down the road, when the virus is just a moment in history, your family will still be your family, your friends will still be your friends, your co-workers will still be your co-workers. So if you devastate relationships through all the bickering and complaining and fighting back and forth with your opinions and things that you've heard that you may not have accurate data and accurate facts for, those things will haunt you the rest of your life. Colossians chapter 3 tells us to bear with one another. That means put up with. That's basically what it means. So I just want to encourage you to bear with one another during this pandemic or this epidemic or this coronavirus or COVID-19 or this financial ruin situation that I heard a financial analyst say the other day. And so it's a lot of uncertainty. But one thing I do know is that God is certain. Okay? He loves you. He cares for you. And he won't allow more to be placed on you than you can bear. And so tonight, from our homes to your hearts, or from our hearts to your home, we thank you for joining us. And may this final words of wisdom just resonate with your spirit, because some of you are scared. Some of you are walking in fear. The Bible says 365 times to fear not. Fear not, fear not, for I am with you. Joshua, he says, be of good courage. He tells him multiple times, be of good courage. John 16:33. For in this world you will have trials and tribulations, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. And so tonight I just want to share some scripture with you to help you. Wherever you're at in that journey, maybe you're indecisive tonight. You don't know where you're at as far as to open or not to open, or have we plateaued or have we? And that's okay. That's really not for us to figure out, okay? It's for those people in those positions to figure out. That's why they make the big bucks. But until then, continue watching The Farming Pastor's Wife. Continue watching all the others that are in the collaboration. I don't know all their names, but she does, okay? And I'm sure she's...
They will be linked in my description at the bottom.
Yep. Have you mentioned them or anything?
Mm-hmm. Well, not on this video, but yeah.
Okay, so they're
I'll link them below. I think some other ladies have joined us, so I don't want to leave anybody out. So I will link all their channels in my description below.
If there's any recipes you want to see her make, or any food items that you don't know how to make that you want to see if she can make, just like the stewed potato video she did this past week, I mean, that's a staple for us. And we were shocked at the amount of people that didn't know what stewed potatoes were. And so, more than anything, yes, she loves to cook, but she loves to teach. And she hopes that she's teaching you through her cooking. So, but anyway, all right, from our homes to your hearts, or from our hearts to your homes, we thank you guys for joining us. Just ending things a little different tonight. Just want to encourage you on all that you're walking through. So, all right, thank you for joining The Farming Pastor's Wife. The pintos are great. You don't need any grease to fry them. You don't even fry them. But anyway, but we believe that if the grease is hot enough,
you can fry anything.
All right, good night, guys.
Bye,
Take care.
y'all.
Bye.